Welcome back. We have two more swords on this edition of Holiday Mini Sword Review. So today we are reviewing swords from Peserey Handicrafts, and it's been no secret that I am a fan of his work. The two specific swords we're looking at this time are sabers. This is an Egyptian saber. Specifically, it's called a Mamluk saber. So this is from the 14th century-ish, and it's got a kind of distinctive hilt. So this is the Mamluk style hilt. It's somewhere in between the straight-ish type of grips that were used by the Arabs and the curved pistol grips that were popular in Central Asia. It's got this little hook at the bottom, which is very convenient for making sure your hand doesn't go off the end. This is a good position for your pinky to kind of slot in there, which allows you to use it kind of like a straight sword and kind of like a saber. It's kind of somewhere in between. And it looks stunning. It's a great looking sword, and as soon as you pick it up, it just comes alive in the hand. It has a decent amount of presence in the blade. It's wide, but it's got plenty of distal taper, as you would expect a sword to do. It has just a little bit of a false edge here, so it's got just a tiny bit of a spear tip at the end. It's got these beautifully carved double fullers that Paceri is able to execute wonderfully here. And just a great polished grip that's put on here. Now, I have picked this up secondhand. Both of these swords are secondhand rather than first-hand purchases. And the sword is quite sharp. I don't remember if this was the original edge on it or not. Paceri is known oftentimes for having secondary bevels on his swords. It depends, I guess, from model to model. I personally do not find that impacts the effectiveness of any of his swords in their cutting ability. Some people do not like any secondary bevels at all. They only want single edge bevels on all swords, even if some swords originally did use secondary bevels historically. I'll disclose that because that's something that if you're trying to pick it up, you want to know if there's a secondary bevel or not. I'll show that on the secondary sword. But for this one, it is beautiful. Now, it's worth noting that when I got it secondhand, it was in the scabbard, and it was stuck inside of the scabbard. So unfortunately, I couldn't salvage it, and I had to cut open the scabbard in order to get the sword out, which is a shame because this is quite a nice scabbard. And we'll show that on the second sword. So the second sword that I have, as an example from Paceri, is this beautiful Ottoman saber. So this is an Ottoman Kilij. And as you will see, it just glides beautifully in and out of the scabbard. So his tolerances for manufacturing this scabbard are very, very high. Just a couple of millimeters. And as a result, since these are traditionally made, they are wood cored with a leather on the outside. If you are careless with them, if these are left out and exposed to the elements, if they get rained on, if you leave them in not a nicely environmentally controlled area like an external garage or the like, they will start to change their shape and they will no longer fit your sword. So if you get one of these, make sure you take good care of it, and then you will have it glide easily in and out of the scabbard, and it will fit like a dream. You can see that it's got a nice little slot in the back to accommodate the changing shape, since this is a non-continuous curve that the Kilij has. And this is one of those Kilij. There's basically no good makers of Kilij on the market. There's one or two Ottoman sword makers, but they're not particularly historically accurate. That is entirely different from this Paceri example here. This one would catch my eye if it was sitting in a store. I'd say, whoa, that looks like something out of a museum. And if I picked it up, I would say this handles exactly like an antique example of a middle period Ottoman saber. It has this nice big yeoman on there. A lot of people think that means that it's really heavy and that it's gonna be really tipped forward. It's not. It's pretty thin and flexible out there. It balances right about there, we can see. There we go for the balance point. It's again got one of these beautiful brass crosses on here. It's got lovely polished horn to make the grip just wonderful, and the pistol grip right there keeps it locked in the hand, allowing you to, I don't have enough space in here. We're not going to be doing a lot of swinging for these sword reviews, but it's just wonderful in the hand and one of my most effective cutting sabers that I own. So this is really special because Paceri's catalog, he has a wide variety of swords. He's very easy to work with. He's very knowledgeable and easy to approach. He does some custom work in addition to the catalog of swords that he regularly produces. But the interesting thing about him is many of the swords that he makes, no one else is really even making them. So he doesn't even have competition for the part of the market that he's in. So for both of these two swords, for the Egyptian Safe and for the Ottoman Kilij, I can very heartily endorse both of them. If you are interested in either of these swords, and Paceri has one available, he has a kind of running stock available on his website, I would definitely darken his doorstep and go and approach him right away, because you're not going to find anything else out on the market, certainly not in the mid-range price point, that is going to be as pretty or as functional as what Paceri has to offer. Okay, guys, I hope you found this useful, and we will be back here next time, very soon, for another holiday micro sword review. Take care.